It's day 8 of the event window here at the Moche Rip Curl Pro Portugal, and round 5 is underway with Heat 2 hitting the lineup. Brett Simpson up against Nat Young, and Nat Young, he's in a great position to move inside the top 10. Comes into this one in 10th spot, and Brett Simpson, well, he is on a mission to re-qualify for the championship tour, way down in 34th spot after his best result this season. He's already achieved that by making the 5th round. Let's see if he can keep this roll alive. Plenty of history between these two competitors, 6 previous matchups, 4 going to Nat Young. But Brett, he's got the jump on Nat Young in a heat here in Portugal in the past, just last season. And he's also got a pretty decent looking wall here as he kicks the tail. Can he ride out of this tricky foam water section? He doesn't hang on. Plenty of time on the clock, just over 26 minutes remaining. If you've just tuned in, Joel Parkinson got the better of Kalohe and Dino in the first heat of round 5. He'll take on Felipe Toledo in quarterfinal number 1. And the winner of this heat is going to be taking on Frederico Moraes, the wild card. But this is what happened during the break. Brett Simpson got this gem.
Oh, beautiful top turn there from Brett. One big maneuver, so we'll see how high the judges go. And Nat Young, you know, he is a solid surfer, very stocky. He's got a little bit of a wider stance, which, you know, is an advantage when the waves are beefy like this and stormy. And as I say that, he gets knocked off there, catches an edge in those chops. So this is a big heat for Brett. It'll be tough to get past Nat, who's known for, you know, just sticking to his board.
Well, Brett, he hadn't been past round 3 prior to this contest. Ross, what is it? Why has he found the fight now?
I think we said it this morning in the Dawn Patrol show. I think Brett does well at the back end of the year when his back is up against the wall. You know, we even saw it in that first turn. He landed it, got a 6 points for 1 turn, which was pretty darn nice. But we'll see if Nat can find that zone.
The judges really loving that first turn. This way for Nat, it flattens out a bit at the start. So he'll look to do some damage on the inside now. He has plenty of speed, but again, just gets chewed up by that tricky foam ball. Just under 22 minutes remaining. And Brett Simpson gets the quick lead.
And again, that's what makes these wedges, you know, tricky but fun. And, you know, wedges are great when they're small. When it's head high or even chest high, you know, a pretty small wave becomes powerful because it gets that extra energy bouncing off the wall. But when it's well overhead like it is now, sometimes it gives you too much energy, and you really have to somehow harness it in the right place.
Well, Brett Simpson with the lead and priority now. He's got a 6 and a 2.57. Nat Young, he's chasing a 5.75.
Because it's churned up from this onshore breeze, it's just really messy, so it makes it look twice as crazy.
Well, 19 and a half minutes to go, and without priority, Nat Young picks off another one, and he gets a little float in. This wave has a lot of bumps in it. Nat just trying to smooth it out with some backhand turns. Gets a little finish on the inside. And there is probably the best turn of that wave, but it was right on the inside. And it's surprising, but Nat looks like he's just been tripped up a little bit by these lumps and ribs in the wave. And typically, he's the master at working those out because he has to negotiate quite a bit of backwash at home when he's surfing at Santa Cruz. So let's see if he can find his groove in this lineup.
Well, there is a little bit of an X factor where sometimes, you know, every wave is going to be slightly different, and, you know, it kind of behaves sometimes like a compactor. You know, the waves converge together, so you get that wedge refracting off the wall, and then you have the swell that's coming out of the south, and it comes together. So if you get stuck between those two, there's just nowhere to run, and you know, you'll just get eaten up. This wave, a smaller little inside wedge, and you know, you can see all the chops, but Nat doing pretty well by weaving and dodging through those bumps. Gets one nice little float before this last re-entry here. So it's going to be a mediocre score, but I think he's just more or less trying to find a rhythm. He knows he has the jet ski to hop on, get back out there, so he's just trying to get that pace.
And the last heat of round 5 is an interesting one. Gabriel Medina relegated by Italo Ferreira to round 5. He's going to take on Keanu Asing, and there's going to be some real pressure on Medina because he is chasing a big result to get right into title contention going into the final contest as we see Brett Simpson up. He's picked off an insider. Nat had priority, and Simpo is looking to just pair up something decent here with the 6 that he had early on for one big turn. And we might try and get another look at that 6-point ride too, because the judges loved it. From their perspective, it was a big A-frame wedge, and he attacked it.
Yeah, that's right. It was the epitome of commitment. You know, he didn't just kind of place his board on the lip. He actually blew the tail out. And this is it right here. 6 points for this one. Nice turn. Bangs a tail. I mean, that's a kind of maneuver you'd see normally on a head-high wave, not an overgrown super wedge. So the judges love the fact that Brett, you know, really committed to a big turn there.
I like that overgrown super wedge. It is. It's pretty beastly out there at the moment. It's really tricky, and I think they're just rewarding the commitment to those big sections. And here's his last ride.
And that's the thing, you know, with all this extra energy from that wedge coming off the wall, most of the time you have too much speed or too much power, so you're just trying to handle it. So they love the fact that, you know, Brett did a nice tail side on that 6-pointer and just a little groveler on that last one.
Here goes Nat Young trying to get himself back in this heat. Skips a little on the first turn and decides he wants to just keep priority and have another shot at it. He's after a 5.64. Backed it up with a 3.13. And he's left Nat Young chasing a 5.64. And Brett making some moves around the lineup, and he might have found another wedge to work with here. Well, this wave trying to shut down, but Brett's going to stick with it. Only looking to drop a 3.13. A couple of turns there. And the Huntington Beach local, he's not giving up on this ride. He's going to fight right through to the inside. Let's go of a nice little slash on the closeout section with just under 5 minutes to go. And we're going to get an update on what's to come today with the man that refers to himself as the Woz, Strider Wozalewski, with Travis Logie.
Thanks, boys. Yeah, down here with Travis Logie. A lot going on in the water. Waves everywhere, wind bouncing off the whole situation here. What do we got going on? We going to keep running heats?
Yeah, we've been some storm surfing today, but it's been good. But no, we're not. It'll be off after this heat. The tide came up and slowed it down a lot. So we're going to call it off because the tide's still coming in for another 2.5 hours. So we'll be back tomorrow morning and check it out.
So no checking back in today, but tomorrow morning. And then with the forecast, are we just going to go moment by moment?
Yeah, definitely. Day by day, hour by hour, we'll keep checking. Not ruling anything out at this stage. We've still got a couple of days left up our sleeves, so I'm confident we'll have a good day.
Well, there you have it, boys. We're going to call it off for the day and get back into it tomorrow morning, hopefully.
You know, this is probably the toughest event all year to call a winner just because we don't know where we're surfing. We see Nat scratching into one here.
Well, he needs a 6.27. He needs this wave to steepen up, and it's just going to fade away on him, unfortunately. There's only a minute and a half to go.
But in general, you know, if I had to pick a guy, I would say Guillermo Medina because he's just so complete right now. He's got a lot of confidence. He's surfing as good as he has all year long. He's good if we're surfing big, juicy super tubos, or if we're surfing wedgy, smaller, you know, waves up against the jetty. All around, I would say he'd be the favorite.
Brett's had a tough run on the CT in recent years. As far as I can tell, this will be his first quarterfinal since 2011 in the Rip Curl Search event in San Francisco. So it's been a long time since he's cracked the final series, and with the heat coming to a close now, he's done just that. He's going to be taking on Federico Moraes in the second quarter.
That's pretty awesome. And, you know, now it opens up the conversation of, whoa, hold the phone here. Maybe Brett can qualify. If he goes really big, makes like a final and a semis, you know, finishes with a semis at pipe, he could qualify. It's not out of the picture. But he has to go big in both this event and pipe.